Yes, yes.
Marc Cary. Come here. Hello, Marc.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome in Conakry,
Yes, sir.
Guinea. Is it
Thank
your
you.
first time in Africa?
No, it's not my first time here. It's my
Okay,
first time in in
in
Guinea.
Guinea.
Yeah.
You play the piano,
Yes, sir.
and piano is percussive and melody.
Yes.
Percussion and melody.
Yep. Harmony.
Harmony,
Yep.
of course.
Yep.
And being in such a big country of percussion,
Yeah.
how do you feel yourself? I saw you walking around. I saw that it was like looking for a connection. I saw you without the shoe. I would
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah,
looking
yeah.
for something. I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me about your experience.
Well, I feel very connected, to African rhythm. Um, I grew up in Washington, D.C., where there's an indigenous rhythm that is definitely connected to the transition of us being here and going to America. But this rhythm has been laying dormant for the whole time. And now it comes in the form of go-go. It came through Duke Ellington's music. All right, they call Duke Ellington's music jungle music because of the element.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't in the same form as go-go, but it had
That energy
the
and the
essence.
groove.
Yeah. So growing up in Washington, I've always been about Washington D.C. is about the drum. So I'm always connected to the drum. When I play the piano, it's the drum for me with tone, so I got notes. I'm like
Yeah.
88 drums. And harmonic, I got drums playing all at the same time, different ways. So my connection to rhythm is internal. And my connection to the drum and my fascination is the spirit, of the music, and that's what I put in my music, you
And
know.
when I was talking to you before the interview, we talked about Randy Weston,
Yeah.
and Randy is known about his big connection to rhythm to
Yep.
Africa, from North Africa to Senegal,
Yep.
where he stayed for the last days. So tell me some about your connection to Randy Weston, and um, I was impressed to see that this connection is there, and
Yeah, it's amazing. I've known Randy uh, since I moved to New York, basically, because of who he is. Everyone goes to Randy, so I presented myself to Randy um, through Abby Lincoln and through Betty Carter. He heard me. He heard all my transformation, and Randy is very aware of everybody. You never know, but he knows you. He knows him. He knows everybody, and he came to me. He said, I love what you're doing. He grabbed me, I have pictures with me
yeah.
and Randy. I have many experiences, but Randy's music is the example of the connection of jazz and Africa. It's one of the true connections without being contrite. It's his spirit, the spirit of Randy is the drum. His spirit is the drum. And the way he plays the piano is like the drum. So I was always fascinated with that. So I became very aware of Randy. And the more I investigate in his book, gave me more insight into him. But every chance I get, I would be around Randy, you know.
And you work with many big name of this music, jazz
Yeah.
music. Tell me some about the biggest scholar who had such an influence in your job today.
Yeah, well, I was very fortunate to work with very powerful women in jazz. Betty Carter was my first big uh, job, and I left Washington, D.C. at the age of 21, and I met Betty when I was 21, and I went on a world tour with her. So she taught me the etiquette of being a musician, a jazz musician, how to travel, how to do an interview, how to present myself. Um, and also, she was an entrepreneur. She had her own company. So it made me think, wow, I don't have to connect to the establishment. I can establish myself.
Be
It's
independent.
possible, yeah.
Yeah.
So she really made broaden my understanding of what's possible. So from Betty, she gave me economy. I was able to start a family, you know. And from that experience, I went to Roy Hargrove at his beginning. So he and I came up together and created his sound. And I left Roy Hargrove when he went to after the first record of the RH Factor, which is that was his dream, to play like funk and to play African rhythms and, you know, not just jazz. He doesn't
Really?
want the confines. So from there, I went to the great Abbey Lincoln. And that was the experience of a lifetime because she brought everything together. She wanted only the best from me, but not technique. Where Betty Carter wanted technique. Give me everything. Betty wanted the technique in a chord. Give me everything in one chord. So you have to be able to play the chord that has, yeah, exactly.
Don't
Yeah.
go there.
Don't go
Stay.
this, stay right there. But this with the same
But
intensity.
this is the more difficult thing.
That's the
You
more.
have to.
You have to think, because the whole point of doing
Nah,
this,
nah, 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 nah.
no, that's to build
Stay there.
excitement. Just you can build excitement like this. You
Stay
know,
there.
yeah. So she taught me to
Your
relax.
technique, but
Yeah,
let's go on point.
let's go on point. Yeah. And she also taught me she had her own business. You see, she had her own economy, and then she relinquished it to Verve Records because they gave her the right deal. Finally, after 60 something years, you know. So I got to see a woman who started her career as a bright star, and then when she went to Africa and changed her name to Moseka, they said, we don't want you no more. So
Really?
for 40 years, Abby did nothing. Well, 30 years, nothing. And then when she's 60, they said, oh, Abby Lincoln. So in her mind, she was always a little, you
Okay.
wait so long, now you want me. So her attitude was different, but her spirit was strong, man. And she gave that to me, you know. And she gave me the legs to stand on for my career.
All these great women,
Strong women, man.
strong women, they
Yeah.
give you the, yeah, women give life. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so
So and then so when I left Betty Carter's band, when it was time for, she said, okay, it's enough. You did good. Now you can go play with the guys. And then she took an envelope and put it in my pocket with money. She said, now that should hold you. The guys don't do that. The guys say, you
really,
fired, bye.
oh shit, that's nice.
So, I mean, you know, it's a difference, you know.
Collaborate with males,
Yeah, plenty, yeah.
like,
So he had a group called Taylor's Willis. He's a great drummer. He played on John Coltrane, Giant Steps. He played with Bud Powell, Charlie Parker, Thelonious Monk, Johnny Griffin, Gene Ammons, like many recordings. He's like one of the most recorded drummers in jazz. And so he wrote a book called Notes and Tones. And it is the Bible for jazz musicians because it's a book of interviews.
oh,
Yeah, so
okay,
it's the
okay,
truth
yeah,
from the musicians. But the book was done in the 60s
okay,
during the civil rights movement in
oh,
America.
yeah,
So a lot of black musicians, they came to Europe,
yeah,
and the book was transcribed in Europe.
okay,
So as the musicians traveled through Europe, A.T. was living in France, and he would meet them in videotape like this
yeah,
and interview. And then he make the transcription of the interview for the book.
oh,
But so the book didn't come out till 1980. 1980, things changed.
yeah, of
You
course,
see, people have jobs now,
yeah,
and so the book came out, and it was about the revolution. So, but now the same people have the job in the universities, and they're like, oh, you can't put the book out now.
really,
So the book is the truth, and it's the words of the musicians. But some of the musicians were like, I shouldn't have said that, because
really,
things change, you know.
yeah, but you know,
But it's the truth.
it was a revolution time.
Yeah. but also now when you're in establishments, when you work for establishment, and the establishment reads like,
Yeah,
anti-America statements because you're not
yeah,
being
yeah,
treated well there,
yeah. You're a terrorist.
Yeah, so but at the time it was revolution, and
Yeah.
now it's looked back at as, oh,
But now maybe with your new president, this is the right time to
it's,
drop
yeah,
it
drop it
again.
again, yeah, yeah, the new president's too much, but we won't speak politics,
Politics.
yeah.
Yeah. So experience after this festival. Tell me
Well,
about your connection with Conakry.
well, after meeting the people in Conakry, because this is deceptive behind this wall, where you have to go out and meet and see, you know, I'm overwhelmed by the people and also the state of the people where they live. It's beautiful, it's plenty of resources, but people have little, but they're more happy here. To me,
Yeah,
and
you
I can
can see
tell when
happiness.
people
Yeah.
say, hey, how are you? I look in your eye. You don't get that in New York. You don't get that in America. People look at you and they're like,
Yeah.
even people with the same skin, you know. So I know everything exists everywhere. It's probably same culture here, but for me, visiting, it was very welcoming, you know.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah,
And
I want to come
sharing
back.
with all these big musicians from all over the world. I know you know most of them, but tell me the experience of sharing with all of them during this.
Well, it becomes you strengthen the bond of musicianship and brotherhood, you know. And it's incredible to see musicians that play your instrument and they have another view just as powerful as the next one, you know. Each one is just as powerful but different, you know. And each one maybe does something more unique over here, but the other one does this over here, you know. So for me, it's amazing to be able to actually sit and enjoy another musician's set because it's rare that I go and just listen. Here, I can just enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
And most time festivals, is too much happening. But this festival was programmed in a way that it was plenty of time to go from here to here, and you can listen to everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm in awe. I'm shocked, by the amount of great musicians coming together with an incredible, beautiful spirit for the music and for each other.
Yeah.
So this is one of the best experiences I've had traveling and playing music.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
man.
really
Thank you,
appreciate your
man.
time.
No, for real, man. Especially playing with you and Shaq, man. Wow.